What up, y'all? Welcome back to Dragon Investments. My goal for this channel is to teach you guys to become profitable long-term Pokemon investors. So with that being said, I would like to share the investing tip of the day. Stay the course. At the end of the day, investing is a marathon, not a sprint. So just understand that there's going to be fluctuations within the market each and every day. I want y'all to remain unfazed regardless of the market condition. And remember that everything you want is on the other side hard. As long as you continue to stay on the train, you'll make so much money in the long run. I can guarantee you that. The name of the game is to stay in the game. So continue to stay the course, and let's get right to the video. So I'll start by tariff. What is a tariff exactly? A tariff is a tax on an item from another country. Imagine that an American company wants to sell cars made in Germany. To bring the cars to the United States, the company must pay a tax. This money goes to the US government. So essentially what's happening is that President Trump is imposing a tax to bring goods over from another country. The reason why Trump is doing this because he wants to boost the US economy and protect jobs. So how would it affect the overall economy? For the short term, consumer goods will go up in price. Even though the importers are responsible for paying the tariffs, these costs are usually passed down to consumers through higher prices so that the importers can offset the higher importing costs. Alright, so now let's move on to the stock market. Major US stocks see biggest losses since 2020 after Trump's tariff. So it's like stocks tumble to the worst day since the pandemic. Alright, so let's look at the market. Like everything's down. You know what I'm saying? Like Apple's down 9% today. Like when do you see Apple, one day fall 9%? Like to be honest, very, very rare. Back in COVID, I remember like days like this, but recently, very rare. Look at AMD, down 8%. Amazon, down 8%. We got Disney out down 8%. We got Google down 3%. Home Depot down 4%. We got Nike down 13%. Nvidia down 7%. Like the whole market is down today. You know what I'm saying? So days like today is when you buy. So as a long-term investor, when there's blood in the streets, you buy. You know what I'm saying? You go shopping. So basically right now it's like a Black Friday. Warren Buffett's quote, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." You guys have to understand, like days like today is gonna happen. Happens time and time again in the market. Short-term pain leads to long-term gain. So just understand, buy when stocks are down, especially like days like today. Buy the dip on evergreen companies such as, the Magnificent Seven, Nvidia, Apple, Tesla, Amazon. Make sure to start position if you haven't already, and make sure to dollar cost average in case it dips more. Alright, so now let's look at SPY. So today it dipped 5%, which is crazy because ETFs usually moves like 1-2% up or down. And let me show you the all-time chart. So what I mean by buying the dip on evergreen companies is that you really can't lose if you spend time in the market and stay the course. Alright, so you see this right here. This is called early 2000. This was the dot-com bubble, and it went from 135, dipped all the way down to like 80 range, and it took years to recover back to like breaking even. And what happened next is in 2007, there's a housing crisis that crashed the market again, and it slowly recover, breaking even again in 2013, and then broke all-time highs. Went on a decade of solid growth, and here's COVID, right? Caused a lot of uncertainty and fear in the market. Crashed again, but we quickly recovered back to all-time highs. In 2021, here's the trade war dip, and recovered back to all-time highs. And now this is the dip right now currently, which is a tariff dip. The Trump tariff dropped it back down. And what I'm trying to say is that based on history, every time it dip, it always pick back up, recover, and eventually hitting all-time highs again. So I feel like this time shouldn't be no different. Alright, let's move on to the Pokemon side of things. So Japanese, Korean, Chinese, I feel like these boxes will likely see an increase in price in the short term, especially because these importers, right, they're not trying to pay that extra tax bill, you feel me? So what they're gonna do is they're gonna mark up their price so that we as consumers will be the one paying. So with that being said, for those of you who wants the new Team Rocket set in Japanese Heat Wave Arena, just keep in mind that you'll be paying a premium. Alright, so let's move on to the English Pokemon cards. So it looks like the Pokemon cards are printed in the United States. Let's double check. So Millennium Print Group. So it's printed in North Carolina and the Netherlands. Okay, so I feel like with this tariff, what's gonna happen is that the majority of the English cards are going to be printed in the States. Looks like, I'm guessing this one's the Netherlands location, but it's not printing Pokemon cards yet. So with the tariffs and stuff like that, I feel like they're just gonna print in the United States. Also, here's an update on the Pokemon Center. They are actively working to print more impacted Pokemon TCG products as quickly as possible. It's gonna be a reprint, so it definitely should bring down the price in the short term, especially for the Scarlet and Violet sets. But I feel like the older sets such as Sword and Shield, X and Y, Sun and Moon should be fine. So pretty much like socks, right? The concept remains the same. If the prices really drop for Scarlet and Violet, now would be a great time to buy in, especially if you don't have any right now. So continue to dollar cost average, and in the long run, you should be fine. In the short term, there's going to be a lot of expected volatility, so just hang in tight, hang in there, stay the course, and you should be solid. That's pretty much it, and hopefully y'all learn a thing or two. Learn how tariff works, learn how it impacts the Pokemon market. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time.
Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, take back the loot. I don't know what